Why do we become slothful? Because my rest and what I desire and want is the most important thing. If I don't want to do something, then I'm not going to do anything. Why do we become angry when people gossip about us? How dare they gossip about us, even if I've gossiped about other people? So, what is it going to take to fill this cup with water? Well, it's a twofold process. We have to scoop the dirt out, and then we have to pour the water in. Well, these are the efforts of man and the efforts of God. The efforts of man are to live in asceticism or selflessness, what Christ talks about when he says, if you wish to come after me, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. It's self-denial. We have to take the ego and say no to it. And when we do that, we scoop it out. Now, people have pointed out to me before, when I say this, they say, well, isn't God involved in that too? Of course, God's involved in every aspect of this, but we need to work with him. And so we scoop it out. The problem is that there's a lot of dirt in there. Some of it's really impacted. It's like very, very hard stone. And so to get it out takes a lot of effort, which is why the saints live in deep asceticism. But the other problem is that it doesn't all come out at once. So what happens? What happens when we begin this process of the Christian life? Well, we begin living ascetically, denying ourselves, as Christ calls us to, and then we come to church, and through the services, through prayer, and mainly through confession and Holy Communion, we pour water in. But notice what happens when we pour that water in. That water quickly becomes dirty. That water makes mud. And we don't see the effects of that grace right away. This does not look like a heart that is filled with the living water that Christ promises. In fact, if we get a little bit of that water, you see that water is really cloudy, which means that the grace and light of Christ can't shine through all the way. This is why when we live the Christian life, often it feels like we're not making any progress. But we keep going out of love for Christ, and we keep scooping out more of that dirt, and we dig in. And really, that grace is actually loosening some of the dirt, which means some of the passions, some of the deep sins that are rooted in us are getting loosened little by little, and we keep pouring it out. And in that process, we keep taking more water, and we keep pouring it in. And as you go, you're going to find that the water eventually becomes slightly more clear. And again, it dislodges some of those deep rocks, but it's a long process. It's a long process. I just hit a rock. There's a big old rock that we found. This is the ascetic life. As we get to a deeper point in this, let's pour a lot of this out. You're going to find that as you dig out more and more of that dirt, which takes many, many years, decades to do, which is okay. It's all part of the process. I'm going to make a mess of myself here. This isn't working too well. It's okay. But as you dig out more and more,